I'm a business guy. I kind of like to start things on time. There's two times around here. There's real time and there's legislative time. I don't like legislative time. So we're going to try and do things on a real-world basis. So this morning, with this, the Subcommittee of National Security, Illicit Finance, International Financial Institutions will come to order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. This hearing is entitled, Follow the Money, the CCP's Business Model Fueling the Fentanyl Crisis. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit extraneous materials to the chair for inclusion in the record. And with that, I will yield myself 5 minutes for an opening statement. As every member of this committee is painfully aware, fentanyl is a poison that is afflicting every community in this country. This poison is a synthetic opioid, 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. Just 2 milligrams, equal to 10 to 15 grains of salt, is enough to be lethal. As a current DEA administrator, Ann Milgram has said, fentanyl, and I quote, is the single deadliest drug threat to our nation and threat that our nation has ever encountered, end quote. I share her assessment, which is why I chose to address it in our subcommittee's first hearing this Congress. In preparation for today's hearing, I consulted local law enforcement officials in Missouri who painted a grave picture. In 2021, synthetic opioids such as fentanyl took the lives of 1,374 Missourians. Despite all the facts, surprisingly, fentanyl remains a Schedule II narcotic, which is why I recently reintroduced the Stop Illicit Fentanyl Trafficking, or SIFT Act, to combat the skyrocketing amount of fentanyl-related deaths. Fentanyl trafficking has become synonymous with the Mexican cartels, who have exploited the Biden administration's lax enforcement of border security and immigration controls to pour this poison into our country. However, it is also vital that Americans understand the essential role that China plays in the fentanyl crisis. China is the primary source of the know-how and illicit materials that Mexican cartels use to manufacture lethal synthetic opioids. Moreover, despite the Chinese Communist Party's publicity, professed policy against the export of dangerous drugs for illicit use, the CCP supports the Chinese companies that export fentanyl precursors by offering them government benefits and preferential tax policies as generous as 10 to 13% rebates. Precursor chemicals from China are converted into powdered fentanyl in Mexico, which is then smuggled across the U.S. border to be pressed into brightly colored pills designed to look like legitimate prescription drugs to appeal to kids, referred to by the DEA as rainbow fentanyl. And no, this is not hyperbole. In August of 2022, the DEA released a statement entitled, DEA Warns of Brightly Colored Fentanyl Use to Target Young Americans. When a pill that costs 13 cents to make can be sold for $10, the cartels are making huge profits, which, like illicit gains, must be laundered. Chinese professional money launderers have become adept at using underground banking schemes and networks of human assets to move illicit profits through the financial systems, commingling drug proceeds with remittances to China, and transferring funds to China using Chinese mobile banking apps. Given the gravity and scale of the situation, it is unclear why the Justice Department's top priority isn't to stop this reverse opium war that China is perpetrating against us. While there are a lot of pieces to this enormous challenge, including our unsecured border, the flow of money is the lifeblood of fentanyl trafficking, and where our committee can bring our experience and our expertise to bear. Our witnesses today will help us understand the fentanyl flows that sustain this deadly trade and what we can do to ensure that our government has the authorities, capabilities, and most importantly, the will to stop them.